Hi everyone, my name is Princy Maheshwari and this is my project PulseLoop built for the AI ATL hackathon in the Microsoft Azure for Startups track. PulseLoop is a B2B SaaS platform designed to solve a major problem that almost every modern company faces, and it's a problem that people don't about often. Today, companies heavily invest in employee training, but they invest in the wrong type of training. Enterprises partner with companies like Coursera, Udemy for Business, LinkedIn Learning, CodePath, etc., etc. But all of these platforms train employees on predefined, outdated, fixed course content. Courses teach things that were relevant months or even years ago and train them on predefined skill sets. But what companies don't have today is a way to keep their employees continuously informed about new breakthroughs in AI, new architecture trends, changes in security practices, evolving DevOps patterns, new research from platforms like McKinsey, ThoughtWorks, etc., or competitive shifts in the market. And this problem costs companies a lot. Because if engineers don't know what's happening in the industry, they can't adopt new tools early, they fall behind competitors, they build outdated systems, or they lose opportunities to innovate, and they miss massive efficiency gains. So, companies spend huge budgets training employees on fixed curriculum skills, but no one is training them on what changed this week in the real world. No one is keeping employees market aware, industry aware, or innovation aware, and that's the gap. That there is no centralized role specific industry intelligence platform. That is why I built Pulse Loop. PulseLoop is a B2B SaaS learning platform that automatically curates industry content, summarizes it with AI, generates deep seek explanations, creates quizzes, and helps companies employ the track the skill and growth of their employees. This is all powered by Azure's DeepSeek, AI Foundry, Next.js, Python Fast API, and the 11 Labs API. Now, let me walk you through the product. This is the Pulse Loop landing page. It explains that Pulse Loop summarizes industry research, generates quizzes, and keeps team continuously market aware. For the storage of employees' profiles as well as admin profile, I have used MongoDB at least. And for the storage of articles and for big content, I have used a Microsoft Azure Blob storage. Now, let's first log in as an employee from the dashboard. I will create an employee passport or a demo employee. So, first of all, let's take the name John Smith. The company has to log in with their institution email in order to access this platform and create a password. Now, right now, these companies are hard coded, but as enterprises buy this platform, the companies will show down in this drop down list where each employee has to log in as has to select the company or institution they are affiliated with, as well as what role they hold at this institution, so that the content or the articles fetched from for them from the web are not only relevant to their company but also relevant to their role at this company. For example, when I create a demo profile of a software engineer at Canva, the DeepSeek API will scrap the web and pull out latest articles in tech which would be relevant to a software engineer at Canva. For example, the first article which I see for so when I log in as an employee, Pulse Loop automatically builds a learning platform based on my job role at the specific company. Since I'm demoing a software engineer at Canva, my feed is customized entirely for the role. The dashboard shows my today's personalized latest tech articles, which are showing these two articles and this podcast. My current tech score, since I built my profile recently, I do not have any tech score or any current streak, as well as my company configured bonus accumulation. Now, this bonus is specific to each company on how they want to set up their bonus per tech point. For Canva, it is 0.01 per dollar per tech point. So, Pulse Loop works like Duolingo but for industry intelligence. For example, now let's walk through the logic of this page. For example, my first article is the McKinsey Technology Trends Outlook 2025, where the source is the McKinsey and Company. Pulse Loop automatically, with the help of the DeepSeek API, tags it with AI, SaaS architecture, and industry trends. But these are the buzzwords or the technologies that this article is affiliated with. So this card is fully role aware. Each employee gets a different feed depending on their company and job role. Let me get started. This page explains why this article is recommended to me. For example, for a software engineer at Canva, McKinsey trends influence long term engineering directions, AI acceleration impacts Canva's product roadmap, cloud native infrastructure adoption trends matter, and so on. So, Pulse Loop explains 7 reasons why this article matters for my job role. Next, I click Start Reading. So the entire article is displayed here with proper citation to McKinsey for copyright compliance. The user or the employee can choose to read the whole article to get in-depth update about what's going on in the industry. Or if they're short on time or they want a quick summary, they can summarize it with DeepSeek. This generates a DeepSeek powered flowchart summary where you can see the structured insights, highlight of core themes, and even a way to convert the summary from text to speech by 11 Labs API. Once you have reviewed the whole article or the summary, you can take the quiz. Right now, I'm going to intentionally get several answers wrong. So, this quiz is generated by DeepSeek API, where Uh, each article comes with a 5 question quiz where if you get more than 2 questions wrong, the DeepSeek API highlights which portions of the article you should re-review in order to gain correct information or to stay relevant. Right now, in my first attempt, I'll deliberately get several answers wrong. For example, I have got 4 questions wrong. So the DeepSeek shows me a review page where which parts of the article I misunderstood and which sections I need to reread are highlighted. Once the employee has gone through the parts which they have misunderstood, they have the option to review the whole article again, or they have the option to move on to the second quiz from this page as well. Right now, I'll get correct answers to show how the text score logic works. Since I've gotten 5 on 5 correct answers, my tech score increases by 6 points. If I had gotten all questions correct in the first attempt, my tech score would have increased by 10 points. But since I've gotten them correct in my second attempt, it increases by 6 points and my streak updates by 1 day. My streak only updates when I have reviewed a particular article and taken its quiz to make sure that the employees are not only reviewing the articles or the latest tech information curated for their feed, but they're also retaining this information so that they can contribute meaningfully to companies' projects using this information. I can go back to dashboard now. You can see that in my dashboard, my tech score gets updated, my streak gets updated, as well as my bonus is calculated per tech point, which is based on the rate of bonus per tech point, which is configured by Canva. It changes from company to company. So Pulse Loop does not is just only summarize articles, but it also processes podcast. For example, this podcast is coming in my feed today. So again, when I click on get started, I get why this podcast is in my feed today. When I click on start listening journey, the DeepSeek API summarizes the episode snapshot for what happened in this podcast for me, as well as what I will learn from this podcast so that I can read that specific part, listen to that specific parts of the podcast and gain grasp those concepts from it. I can even open the right podcast or the exact podcast link from my website. Once I have gone through the podcast contents, I can take the quiz, or I can even summarize the podcast content with DeepSeek and listen to this summary using 11 Labs API. Now I'm going to take the quiz, and this time I'll intentionally get one question wrong, not enough to trigger a retry. So for example, A, B, 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 and C. I submit the quiz. Now, since I've gotten 4 on 5 questions wrong, 4 on 5 questions correct, my tech score increases by 8 points rather than 10 points, and my streak still remains 1 day because I have completed my task for a single day, but my tech score increases, which is and this feature is there to encourage employees to read more articles, to gain more information which can contribute to companies projects. So the more tech score means more bonus, which encourages companies to read more than one article per day. But no matter how many articles you read per day, your streak is still going to be 1. So there is no rigged or there is no loophole here. Okay, the DeepSeek API also review creates a question review where it explains what is the correct answer for the questions I got wrong, so that the employees can reinforce on the information that they misunderstood, and I can go back to dashboard where it updates my tech score and my new bonus based on my new tech score. Apart from the employee login page in my Pulse Loop app, I also have a login page for admins of the companies to see how the progress of the employees at that company is going. So we have a full admin cockpit. I go to the button where I say I oversee learning, and I select the organization I'm affiliated with, for example, GitLab, for example, Canva, and then I log in with my admin credentials for that company. Now this information is hard coded in this admin cockpit. For example, but as more and more employees sign up for this platform and start using this platform for learning, this information gets updated with real time updates for that company's employees. It will show the total users or the total employees in that company which are using this platform, how many of them are active this week, what is the average tech score of the employees of that specific company using this platform, as well as the participation rate. So all these features get updated with real-time data as the employees of a specific company start using this product to make sure the administrator to understand how the progress of their employees is going on this platform and to understand their return on investment. It also gives immediate actions for the admin of a company to take, as well as signals to watch for. It also gives the admin of the company to configure the sources of the information which is presented to their employees. They can choose which newsletters to give priority to when making the feed for their employees, or which type of content should be excluded when making the feed for their employees. So it gives the admin of a company or of an enterprise to have a control of what's presented in the feed of their employees. And now comes the subscription plans for this B2B SaaS tool. So here are our pricing tiers with the starter model, the growth model, as well as the enterprise model, each with different feature sets and user counts. So that's it. And that is our Pulse Loop, a role-aware industry intelligence platform that curates, summarizes quizzes, and tracks skill progression and incentivizes employees. Because staying industry aware shouldn't take hours, Pulse Loop helps make it in. Pulse Loop makes it happen in minutes. Thank you.